Hey family, hold on for a second. Let me make sure everything is set up. What you guys do not know is that lucky me, my cycle just started 3 minutes ago. Just joking, like an hour ago. And so I had to rush to gobble down a shit ton of my doll. I have a heating pad on my lap as we speak. I'm going to be fighting for my life slightly. Hold on, let me make sure all the buttons are pressed properly. There we go. Shout out to my YouTube manager, Bridget, who watches this channel like the ops. Bridget, I appreciate you. And if I don't properly hit buttons, she'll email me like, Blue, your monetization button is not up. Blue, did you press this? So Bridget, I appreciate you. All right, everything is up. I am going to be sipping on water slowly as I wait for my heat pad to, because I'm not joking. I literally have a heating pad on my lap because I'm dying right now. Now you're probably wondering, why am I doing this if I have a heating pad on and I'm clearly sick? Is this thing on? Bridget got this for me. Estella and Bridget keep on insisting that I take better care of myself. So they're always like buying me random self-care things. Bridget got me this heating pad. How do I press the button correctly? There we go. It's on low though. How do I get it to high? There we go. It's on high now. Yes. All right. We big. Hey family, welcome to another installment of Blue Centric Live. I am your Captain Blue Toulousma. Welcome to the Blue Crew, as you guys like to call yourselves. Today we're going to be doing a live all about Love is Blind Season 10. I want to be clear with you that I am doing this under duress. I hate this show. I hate this show. Hate it, hate it, hate. Remember that Dave Chappelle a skit about the haters ball? I was struggling to watch this show, and the reason why I am doing this review is because every day for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I could do a post saying, ooh, I love sourdough toast, and someone would be like, so you're not going to do a Love is Blind review though? I can say, oh my God, this weekend I went to my friend's 1-year-old birthday party for her daughter, Brand. I'm literally drinking out of their cups. They had branded cups. They also had ponies. If you watch my stories, shout out to Sarita. Sarita, you're doing very well for yourself, honey, because you show up to a baby party and there's ponies and bunny rabbits and baby goats and a bouncy house. By the way, we were in the bouncy house kicking it, and all the kids kicked us out. The adults were in the bouncy house trying to get drunk, and the kids walked up and said, hey, yo, can we? And I was like, y'all need to make bouncy houses for adults. The hell? Anyways, so I could be posting about the beautiful ponies at my friend's kid's birthday party, and y'all gonna be like, cute ponies. So where's the Love is Blind review though? I don't understand why y'all decided that I had to be the one to go through this. There are so many YouTubers and social commentarians who love Love is Blind. I am not one of them. But I have been summoned so much. And I think the reason why, because you guys know I have a rule. If I'm going to do one of these reviews, because for those who are new here, hi, welcome. For the family, welcome back. I am a writer, a producer, and a social commentarian who's also a full-time emotional intelligence coach. Full-time is it's on my taxes. And as a full-time emotional intelligence coach, I try my best to only do pop culture reviews if there's some thread of emotional intelligence lessons or whatever that I can infuse into the conversation, right? I only do these conversations if I can in some way elevate them or educate them. So at first I was like, y'all, I don't see anything here for me to work with. I don't see anything here for me to work with. Until, though, the harassment, right? Because I was being harassed by the Blue Crew. Love y'all. I started to notice a thread. Every week, I would try to watch like 1 or 2 episodes, and I'd be like, oh, I don't want to watch this. And then I'd be like, ping. Something would ping in my head. And then something would ping in my head again. And then something would ping in my head again. And I started to realize that there was a really dangerous, scary theme emerging from this season. And then I was like, fuck, Blue, now you have to talk about this. So shout out to those of you who harassed me into doing this, because there is value in this conversation. If you guys don't know, every Monday night around 7:30, me, Carlos King, Claudia Jordan, and Dustin the Ross, we go to Carlos's page and we kiki about Real Housewives and other Bravo stuff and pop culture stuff. Well, mostly reality TV, because it's reality with the king. So this live is going to have to end at 4:15 Pacific Standard Time. And so I'm not going to do the intro that I usually do, where I tell you about my personal life. I'm not going to do. Are you saying Mr. Dreads is weird? Yes, Mr. Dreads is why we're here, because everybody and their mother is in love with Vic and Christine, and I'm not one of them. I'm not in love with Vic and Christine. Vic and Christine are a scheme set up by Todd or Chris Colleen. Either way, I'm not buying it, and I thought I was going to be a lone wolf. I thought I was the only person who was smelling bullshit on Vic and Christine because everybody's in love with them. And I was like, oh, if it's just me, you know what I always say, guys, right? And I always say it to the point where now everybody else is saying it. I'm not wrong. I just be early. When you're used to being early, you know when to shut the fuck up and let the stuff reveal itself. However, I found like 5 or 6, maybe 7 Black women in academia who all agree with me, and we're all picking up on the same bullshit. Shout out to my sisters in academia. Because I was like, y'all trying to make me feel like I'm crazy. We'll get to that in a second. All right, guys. Let me center myself. By the way, for anybody who was here for my update about my blood pressure scare and I had to go to the ER because my blood pressure spiked to crazy levels despite the fact that I was feeling incredibly zen, I actually figured out a little bit of why that happened. You guys know I have really bad cramps. This is a quick update, like 2 minutes. You guys know I have really bad cramps, endometriosis, and I pop a lot of Midol for my endo. And when I'm on my cycle, like I am today, I don't drink caffeine. I avoid soy, anything that replicates estrogen in your body or that creates any kind of stress in your body or that creates hypertension. I completely avoid, not because I had hypertension at the time, but because I have a family with a history of hypertension. And I also know that when you have endo, you want your room to be as calm as possible. So when the practitioner showed up to my house to give me my iron infusion, and she was like, you're so zen, your house is so zen. And then she checked my blood pressure and was like, your blood pressure is 225 over 125. You have to go to the hospital. I was like, I don't understand. I feel so calm. What am I doing? The bitch who drinks decaf coffee and meditates every day, what am I doing? Do you know? This morning, I went to Amazon to order some Midol because I was like, I don't feel like going to the store. And then I saw caffeine-free Midol on the list. This is actually a PSA for women out there. I saw caffeine-free Midol on the list when I put Midol on the search. Now, I've seen caffeine-free Midol before, but you know how sometimes it takes a while of you seeing something for your brain to click what you're looking at? My brain clicked this morning. Wait a minute. If there's caffeine-free Midol, what the fuck is in the other Midol that I've been taking 3 at a time every 6 hours for 7 days every month for the last 30 years? Bitch, there's caffeine in the fucking Midol. The girl who does not eat soy or drink coffee because she's been trying to avoid the family curse of hypertension has been popping caffeine Midols for 30 years and had no fucking idea. Cut the camera. What you mean you got caffeine-free Midol in a green box I ain't never seen before because I'm used to the pink box that you told me was regular? Then I go in the comments and people in the comments are like, oh, I'm so happy you have caffeine-free Midol because I was tired of having the shakes. Y'all, for the last 30 years, I thought I had the shakes because of my endo. I had the shakes because I've been popping caffeine not free Midol. 3 at a time every 6 hours. The irony that I did not realize I was dosing myself with caffeine while avoiding caffeine. So this is a PSA for anybody out there who is on a low caffeine diet, for anybody out there who did not have hypertension and like me was doing their big one through diet and exercise to avoid it, and somehow it still found them. It might be the fucking Midol. To find out that I was accidentally dosing myself with something that I've been trying to avoid so intentionally, mind blown. Anyways, guys, so yeah, I took my first batch of caffeine-free Midol 10 minutes ago. Annoyed as fuck. It took me going to the ER to realize that I have to do this. But yeah, I'm trying to help people. So yes, it's a stim. You said, do you take ADHD medications as well? No, I don't. Y'all, the reason I don't even take my ADHD meds is because of this. So the entire time I've been avoiding my Adderalls, I've been avoiding ADHD medication, I've been drinking decaf coffee, I've been guzzling coconut water and sorrel and shit, had no idea that I've been taking 12 caffeine pills a day when I'm on my cycle. Let me stay calm. Let me stay calm. Doctor's orders. Let me stay calm. All right, that's my PSA. That was an update and also my PSA. 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Look at God. For those of you who like to complain because you're new here, when is the review going to start? This is like a podcast. I talk to the Blue Crew and my family first, and then we get into the main topic. And here's the thing. If you have the audacity to go into my comments and say, when is the review going to start? Why didn't you have the audacity to scroll to see that there's a pinned timestamp with the timestamp on it? This young lady skipped the pinned comment to cuss me out about taking too long to get to the main topic. I said, can you just look up? Instead of cussing me out, can you just look up? It's right there. So guys, this is like a podcast. This is a family. It's an ongoing conversation. If you want to ever jump to the point, please check for a fucking timestamp before you talk to me crazy in my own house. That's all. Yes, family first. I'm going to always talk to the Blue Crew as family before I get to whatever vapid topic I'm trying to make intelligent for the day. Okay? Do I have any other announcements? Yes, I do have another announcement. I am currently experiencing a lot of Wi-Fi fuckery because I live in a new build. My complex, I live in a townhouse, but the gated community of townhouses that I live in is still being built. This is a brand new build. And because of that, there was some wiring that had not been attached to my townhouse that was causing me Wi-Fi issues. It was a complete nightmare. Spectrum was supposed to come yesterday to fix it, and they stood me up. They stood me up. And so I am now doing this live from an Ethernet. Am I clear, guys? Can you see me clearly? I have an Ethernet cord, old school, okay, like it's 1999, connected from my laptop to my Verizon box, because I was going to leave Verizon to go to Spectrum because my Verizon's been acting up, but at least Verizon is wireless and doesn't need the cords that are missing. And then I found out that Spectrum ain't no good either. Yes, Spectrum is garbage. So if Spectrum is garbage and Verizon is garbage, I'm thinking I'm just going to stick to Verizon because at least they're wireless and just use an Ethernet cord whenever I go live, which is annoying, right? Y'all are saying it's clear. It better be fucking clear. It's directly connected through a cord. We're not even using Wi-Fi, y'all. I said, you know what? If Wi-Fi is the problem, let's skip Wi-Fi. So moving forward, any lives that I do from this house will be via an Ethernet cord. A little trick for anybody else. Somebody said so fucking clear. Look at God. I like that. So clear. Also, too, guys, I was talking to Bridget today, and I was like, the fact that this townhouse is so beautiful, but I'm having all these little issues with construction, because, you know, when you're building a community, you're building a bunch of houses at once. I was like, PK, how long do you see me staying here? Because I got a number in my head, and she said 2 years. I said, yeah, I'm probably only here for 2 years. So, guys, I had all these decorating plans for this house, and then I realized, bitch, at your age, just save up for a house. I actually make enough money where if I just made some sacrifices, I could save up for a house. So I only see myself for 2 years. So I'm not going to be doing all the decor and all the lovely stuff that I used to do. I will tell you this, though. Terry and I might be going to court. Fuck you, Terry. More on that later. So on Thursday, me and my Ethernet cord are going to finally do the live that I promised y'all for the members only area. And we're going to do a live called What Really Happened Between Me and Melissa Ford. It was supposed to happen on Saturday. Instead, it's going to happen on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. And because I have a couple extra days, I'm going to do you guys a solid, and I'm going to see if I can pull up some videos from my archives as like a visual aid. Okay. We're now at the 15-minute mark. Let's jump right into Love is Blind, guys. Let's do it. All right. For those who have not been watching Love is Blind season 10, I'm jealous. I'm jealous that you had the option not to. And I will say this, though, don't worry. 40% of the people who watch this show every week are people who do not give a fuck about the topic and who are just here for fellowship and to learn something cool like a story time. So we always level set to make sure that people who don't know about the show can still come on the journey. Okay. So you guys, I've decided that I'm going to be talking about certain couples because I don't like the show, right? So I'm going to pick the couples that I think have teachable moments. And so the couples I'm going to talk about, let me look at my list. We're going to be talking about Devontae and Brittany. We're going to be talking about Mike and Emma. We're also going to be talking about Chris and Jessica. And last but certainly not, we're also going to be talking about, what's that other couple? Alex and the other girl, the blonde lady who looks like a Barbie doll. And last but not least, we are going to be talking about Vic and Christine and why I'm not fucking falling for it. What does that mean? I would say, you can't trick me. You can't trick me. I'm sorry. Devo, yeah, they keep on calling him Devo. His name is Devontae. When's the next tarot class? We only do tarot classes when I'm not teaching my EQ classes because I can only do so much academia. So my EQ classes end at the end of March. So tarot will come back in April. I can't do both, guys. Whenever I'm teaching real class and school's in session, I can't do tarot class on top of that. It's just too much for my brain. So as soon as we're done with this cohort of On Thy Shift, the tarot classes will come back to the members only area. All right, we're done with housekeeping. For the folks who have no patience, 1651, we are now starting with Love is Blind. Let's do it.
Told the producers of Love is Blind that we were interested in watching conservatives fall in love. In this political environment,
now, for those of you who are like, Blue, what are you talking about? Hold on. Why is my assets different? I feel like my media assets look different. I'm going to fix that in a second. For those of you who are like, Blue, what are you talking about? Love is Blind is not conservative. You might not have caught on, but I have. You guys know that back in the day, this is how I want to set the scene while I'm trying to fix these assets. Back in the day, there was this thing that would happen where if you were hanging out with some friends and you had a homegirl who seemed really, really cool, why can't I find the regular assets? Something's wrong. Why can't I find the assets? All right, I'm back. I'll do it while I'm talking. Back in the day, if you were hanging out with a homegirl who was really cool and she said, come to my house. We're going to be having a kickback at the house. We're going to have snacks. We're going to have charcuterie plates. We're going to just have us a good old time. Come Saturday between 1 and like 3. And, ooh, girl, you're going to be so excited. There's this amazing thing that I'm doing that I would love for you to be a part of, right? We've all got that invitation. And then when you show up, sorry, I'm doing the media assets. I'm talking to you. When you show up to your homegirl's house after she's made it seem like, oh, this is just a regular chill hangout time, you then find out that you're not at a regular function. You find out that you're actually at a Amway, like multimedia marketing kind of scheme, or Avon, or whatever pyramid Ponzi scheme is taking place. And you're like, oh my God, you lured me here under false pretenses. The entire time I thought I was here for entertainment and to hang out. You actually had an agenda of something that you were trying to sell to me via propaganda, using our community ties. Do y'all see where this is going? Yes, we've all been invited to what eventually turned out to be a multimedia marketing party. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, and it's so funny, my usual assets that I usually use are not working. I find it funny, the only ones I could find were these black as fuck Black History Month assets. So let's just go with that. Maybe God wants the page and the visuals to look extra black because of what we're about to talk about. Okay. In the same way that I thought I was just here for charcuterie plates. I know it's charcuterie. I'm being whimsical. Okay. I know how to read. I thought I was here for some charcuterie plates. And now you got me selling Mary Kay and shit. In the exact same way that happened, the GOP, and this is why I'm actually doing this live, despite me thinking the subject of Love is Blind season 10 was too vapid previously. I was wrong. The GOP recognized that in this TikTok culture, where they could not get rid of TikTok despite it being a security breach with China because the kids had become addicted to the algorithm of TikTok. So they believed in if you can't beat them, join them. And that's why America's in cahoots with TikTok now. They recognized that you could use TikTok in the same way that you use those kickbacks from back in the day. Meaning that if you were able to make something conservative and something problematic trendy, suddenly, because people were scrolling and doom scrolling for hours and hours all day in the house, because now being social means being in your house by yourself. If you could do it through TikTok and the algorithm, suddenly things that would be called problematic by social justice warriors when it's obvious would suddenly become trendy, like the dances, like the renegade dance, right? But instead of dancing to a popular Meg Thee Stallion song, you are finding yourself being lulled into a false sense of romanticizing really misogynistic, problematic, anti-Black rhetoric. Yes, guys, the bait and the switch. The best example of the bait and the switch was Naya and all the trad wives, and how trad wife culture was really, really suspiciously trendy around the time before the last election. And suddenly young girls found themselves thinking, I want to learn how to make sourdough. Now, let me tell you, sourdough toast is my favorite toast. I literally have backup sourdough toast right next to me because I'm on my cramps, right? I fucking love sourdough. I was like, oh, bitches out here making sourdough and candles. Y'all know which one I chose during the pandemic. So I was like, during the pandemic, everybody's making sourdough and candles. This is so amazing. I'm a whimsical bitch. I grew up in New England. I'm a Taurus with a triple Virgo. I love cozy shit. Are you kidding me? Anything that feels like a weighted blanket is for me. And then I started to be like, now hold on though. Why are all the girls making the sourdough Mormon with really aggressive blonde highlights and ain't shit looking husbands who don't believe in birth control? Why do they keep popping out babies as if they don't know how condoms work, or at least an attempt at the pullout method? Why are they all Republican? What's going on? I just want some fucking sourdough. How we get here? Shout out to those of you who also love sourdough, right? So as a bitch who loves sourdough, but recognized they were trying to sell me more than just bread. That's what's happening with Love is Blind this season. Especially, not excusing, especially with Vic and Christine. The same Vic and Christine that even Black women who look and sound like me are falling for. Yikes. I've seen some of the most progressive, woke, intelligent, nuanced, you can't trick me, Black women be like, I don't know what it is. I just love Vic and Christine. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's only been a year and it's already working. It's only been a year since this man has been sworn in, and my sisters in arms, the 92% that vowed with me, I just work here. I'm not doing it. Y'all take care of it. Yes, of course he has to be fine, baby. Yes, he has to be fine. And the only people, per fucking usual, I should have known, the only motherfuckers who are even on the same page as me, the only people who are saying, Blue, it's not that deep. It's not that deep, Blue. The only people who are not saying, Blue, you're just mad because it's an interracial couple, even though half my friends are in interracial relationships. So that can't be it. I'm from Boston. Are you silly? You think I made it through Boston all these years not being able to stomach interracial relationships? Are you fucking stupid? No. It's not the low-hanging fruit of interracial relationships, y'all. It's not. In fact, I've been on the record saying that to me, my view of Black love has had to expand as a matter of evolution. In my mind, Black love, the first tier of Black love, is Black people loving each other, because thanks to the algorithm, Cheerios commercials, and the whole Sandra Rhimes franchise, Black people for some reason don't fall for each other anymore. Everybody gotta be swirly. Everybody gotta be swirly, right? Somehow we're going to solve racism by skipping over reconnecting Black people to each other and just shipping us off to be with other people. So anytime I see two Black people being allowed to love each other, because that's the wound that was never allowed to heal in this country, I get excited. So my first tier of Black love is two Black people loving each other because we were ripped apart and never put back together. My second tier of Black love is a Black person being loved properly and healthily by someone with cultural competency who does not say dumb shit like, I'm colorblind. Why are you colorblind? My color wasn't the issue. Black is fucking beautiful. Why would you be blind to the best parts of me? Why would you be blind to something I'm proud about? You dummy, right? Saying you're colorblind tells me you're racist because my color informs why I'm unsafe in this world. So if you are a black person with another black person, I got you, sis. If you're a black person dating a pro-black person who's not black, I still got you, sis. Right? To me, black love is two pro-black people being together. Even better if they're both black. Vic and Christine are not that. That's not what y'all looking at. Yeah. There's a way that actual pro-black people protect blackness that Vic is completely absent of. It doesn't exist in him. It does not exist in him. I'm on to you, brother. I know what actual pro-blackness smells and tastes like because I live it. And so when I see someone who has been practicing their biracial baby speech for TV because they know they want a white girl, when you know that you want a white girl, but you's a nigga, and so you're going to have to watch TikTok to take notes of how to preemptively cover your ass so that people can't clock that you have a bunny fetish. There are things that you practice based on academic rhetoric, but unless you're actually pro-black, you can't really fake it. You can't fake it, brother. There's no book to teach you the things that you got wrong that made me and the other black female academics clock your shit. Close though. You got everybody else to believe you, right? Take a look. It's in a book. If blackness was something that you could read up on, Vic is God. Unfortunately for Vic, there's some of us who actually live in this shit and don't just pontificate about it. But we'll get more into that in a second. Let's go to the other couples. I said I was going to start off chill. That was supposed to be my chill intro. Was that chill, y'all? That didn't feel real chill. Was that my chill intro? Somebody said get him blue. Oh, thank you. You look stunning, and thank you for reading earlier this month. Oh, I love this. I love when people who get readings from me come in here. I appreciate y'all so much. And thank you for everybody who's sending me super chats because this house is really fucking expensive. So, and by the way, a lot of my videos are getting less monetized because I'm becoming more political. So the super chats are hitting extra hard to make up for that. So thank you. All right, let's watch this video about the other couples. We're going to end with Vic and Christine. Yeah, let it breathe for a second. We're going to end. You know why? Because I realize there's a story that's going to be told by this live because I'm going in order on purpose because I want to hit all the general points about how this entire season, not just Vic and Christine, this entire season is a MAGA QVC infomercial. This entire season 10 of Love is Blind is a MAGA QVC infomercial to convince and force feed even progressive black and brown people to ingest little morsels of anti-blackness and whitewashed rhetoric to the point where by the time they do their big one, our senses have already been dulled. The fact that so few of you are peeping game on Vic and Christine already tells me it's working. Already tells me it's working. There's too few of us who are picking up on this.
No, I'm not interested in that. It's actively ruining the season for me. These men ain't shit. They're ugly gremlins, and they're Republicans. Get it off my screen.
Oh yeah, by the way, Republicans, Donald Trump got a shout out, an extended several lines back and forth shout out this season. I have never seen any sitting president get a shout out, let alone Donald Trump. I said, oh, we're not even pretending anymore. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, while the video is playing, I'm going to look up my threads because I don't have threads on my laptop. I think the reason why I don't have threads on my laptop is because, you know, I don't trust having all my stuff connected to all my devices because I really do feel like the Russians be watching our pages. I know it sounds crazy of me, but I'm going to see if I can pull up threads on my thing while we're doing this video. The first couple I want to talk about is going to be, and we're going to slow walk it by the point we end around in about an hour and 15 minutes and get to Vic and Christine. The first couple I want to talk about is the Asian woman, because I think the anti-blackness in this season has been so loud, but it's also just been pro-whiteness in a way that eradicates all BIPOC people. I don't use the term BIPOC unless I mean not more than just black, right? Because BIPOC is often used as in a way to water down blackness. This time it's actually BIPOC. Even the Asians and the Latinas are catching strays. The non-black Latinos everybody's catching strays who's not white, y'all. Everybody. And if you're white, you might not be white enough. If you're white, you still might not be white enough. So we're going to start with the young Asian woman named Emma. Emma is a young girl who is Chinese, but she was adopted into a all-white family in an all-white community, going to all-white schools. And she had the audacity, on top of being Chinese, to also have these birthmarks that were really dangerous and had to be removed from her arms and her legs and her body. So she's walking around with the scarred arm as the only Asian person. Right. And because she's in this all white ecosystem, she's incredibly fragile because she's internalized so much rejection from just everybody. And she decided that she did not want to have children because she became hyper independent. You guys know, for those of you who watch my videos who have taken my classes, hyper independence is a trauma response. When you are someone who doesn't believe anybody's going to show up to be there for you, you convince yourself you don't need them anyways. It's a trauma response, right? I need people. Fuck that. Help me. Shit. It takes a village to raise a blue, right? So because hyper independence is her badge of honor, but also her trauma response, masquerading as integrity, she has convinced herself that she does not want to have children. Number one, because ain't nobody trying to fuck her. This is her words, not mine. I'm paraphrasing, but this is what she conveyed. Number one, she doesn't want to have kids because nobody wants to sleep with her. So why even pretend that a man's going to want to make a baby with me? Number two, she's scared that her little half Chinese babies are going to have the same moles and the same disorder as her. So because she's not in love with herself, she sure as hell doesn't want to procreate. She goes on the show clear about that. Her family would later say, the one thing you've been adamant about is that you don't want to have kids, until she meets a white man who wants babies. Now, suddenly she's ready to have kids. I'm going to just play the video.
What's your story? Well, I've been single for about a year now.
I want kids. I really want a baby.
Well, I'm looking for a partner.
I know I want kids. I don't need them tomorrow, but
I don't really know if I want kids.
I appreciate you being honest. I think I want 3. Don't you think if you have love to give, you could give it to a baby?
Did you even hear me?
I feel like we have great chemistry, so our kids are gonna be really cute.
I like your vibe, but I don't know.
Did I change your mind yet? You're gonna be such a great mom. To my kids, to our kids. I feel like I might want a whole kickball team of them.
I just don't want to commit to that right now.
I want to travel and
By the way, guys, this reenactment is spot fucking on. This reenactment, because I don't want to get a copyright strike from Netflix, is spot on. Anybody who's watched the show will tell you it's spot on.
I want to get married, and I want to do it all with our child. Life is about creating life. We need a baby.
Okay, well, maybe.
I think if I had to choose between you and our unborn child, I'd have to go with the kid.
Okay.
Guys, you think this is dramatic? He literally, and he has this thing, and I have notes. Let me read my notes real quick. It says, Mike is a stern masculine who told Emma he would leave her for dead if she ever said that she resented popping out his babies, even though she told him in the beginning she didn't want to have babies to begin with. Those are my notes on him. Every time he talks about children, you know that meme of Lawrence Fishburne playing Ike Turner, where he turns around slowly like, bitch, out. And the hand, you could just feel his hand itching to backslap the shit out of anime. Every time this man talks about children, I can literally feel the backhand. The backhand is implied. I keep holding my breath. She went to go meet his family. They had a backhand too. They didn't even fuck that she was Asian. They don't mind having some pretty swirly babies. You gonna give them some kids? You know how to cook? You know how to cook? You know how to clean? You believe in God? I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my heavens. Like, guys, when my cramp started this morning, I thought it was because of my cycle. Child, it was actually anxiety watching these people. Like, I was getting anxiety cramps. What you mean it's 7 of you sitting around a table asking this little Asian orphan? I'm not being facetious, guys. This is how wild it looked to me. This young lady literally, they were like, so you Chinese? She was like, well, I'm Chinese, but my family is white. My sister's white. My brother's white. My school is white. My milk is white. And they're like, oh, but you Chinese though. And she was like, yeah. but you want babies? She was like, as of 27 minutes ago, yeah. Y'all, I throw the whole show away. Y'all know I'm an ally, so I'm not just gonna talk about anti-blackness today. Just it felt like a Chinese version of Get Out. Yo, was nobody else scared? I'm scared. It really, and they were like swirly. He's an attractive man. They were like Italian or Sicilian. I don't know. It was something dark, and because you know when white people say dark, they just mean Italian. They don't mean niggas. Okay. So it was some kind of dark, tall, dark, and handsome, right? And I'm watching this, and I'm like, well, this don't feel good. So Emma, blink thrice if that man hasn't put a baby in you yet, and you can still get free.
Okay, so you're actually in my top 2.
To Mike Jr.
What?
It's the perfect name for my first son.
I actually have another date coming.
We all agree that Mike and Emma should not get married. She needs therapy, not a relationship. And I'm not meaning that in a negative way. I mean, hell, we could all benefit from therapy, but it's clear that she still has issues that she hasn't worked through that she should address. Also, the differences in the whole kid situation is a recipe for disaster. She would end up, I feel like, giving in and having children for him and then resenting him, like he had said. And that's not good for anybody.
He already knows that you're going to resent him and already tells you better not fucking tell him. He said, if you hate and you resent me for it, I'm going to leave your ass. So you know that that's what's about to happen, Mike, right? So you're saying that you're reading the room, and as long as she agrees under duress not to do the obvious.
Kids. While we're on the topic, that was wild.
Who's also white like the milk, right? Because everybody's white in Emma's world. She made a point of letting us know that everything is white. Emma, I'm concerned because although I love my children, if God like to have babies, I'd say, fuck nah, I'm outside. And I'm like, oh shit, wait, what? Her kids said, fuck these kids, but no, for real though, I love my babies. And then the babies like ran out into the screen. Awkward. I don't think her sister likes her kids. It's actually very awkward.
She basically said that she regretted having her children. And she was like, well, I'm not saying I regret them. No, that is exactly what you are saying. Those poor kids are going to see that one day. And they came out on the show right after she said that.
Guys, if I ever said, hey, if God gave me a do-over, fuck these kids. I don't, on camera. The sister looked like she wanted to get in the car and leave the kids there in the middle of, can Netflix hold my baby? Let me stop. We only have an hour. Let me stop. All right, let's keep playing this.
Awkward. Also, I hate to say it, but I feel like Emma was using Mike to stay on the show because he was not her first pick, okay? We all know that. She was just...
Oh, can we talk about her first pick real quick? There was this guy who liked her. I don't know if he was good or not, but he seemed like he really liked her, and he was trying to have intimacy with her. He was giving me Cancer energy, like water sign energy. So he's like, oh, tell me about your first kiss. She's like, I kissed this boy. And he was like, oh, that's all. I thought we were going to be vulnerable. Okay. And well, I'll tell you about my first time having sex when I lost my virginity. It was something out of The Notebook. We were on the floor. The sun was cascading into the room. She looked at me. I told her how much I loved her. It was just so romantic, and it was so important and impactful. How about you, Emma? I've never seen The Notebook. Sure. But what was your first time like, Emma? I met this guy. He seemed to like me enough. And I said, just fuck me and get it over with. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sharing with you, Emma. Do you mind sharing with me more than just he was available? I'm very triggered that you're not reading the fucking room and that clearly it was not important because nobody wanted me because I'm Chinese and I'm scarred and everybody's white but me. You're a horrible person. And then she ran out the room crying and everybody held her. Now, mind you, the man could have been creepy, guys. This is not about the man. It's about the moment. In the moment, her fragility is what I'm highlighting, right? The man could have been, I'm not going to say a name. The man was not absolved. All the men this season are a little bit off. All of them, including Vic, as tall and fine as he is. I'm not a hater. That man is fine. All the men are a little bit shady or off. What I'm saying is we people who are trying to go to therapy, be securely attached, handle our traumas. If a man, even a man that we find creepy, is asking us a question, we're going to answer the question very differently than how Emma did it. I'm not talking about the what she's responding to. I'm talking about the how, guys. The how was fragile. And in this is the issue. Whenever y'all see a situation that you can relate to, and the person responds to the situation in a way that is maladaptive, in a way that is incredibly traumatized and fragile and ill-equipped on a basic level, you're so busy feeling bad about the situation that you're not clocking the compromised way they're reacting to it. Can we have nuance here? Can we have nuance here? So the man had no social skills, but was asking regular questions. When he said it was like The Notebook, let's sit right there. He was like, yeah, it was very romantic, like The Notebook. You could tell this man is used to using The Notebook as a way to melt women's hearts because it's a beloved romantic film. Her response is, I've never watched the Notebook and nobody wanted me. I mean, why don't you get nobody wanted me? And you know, I just said, fuck it. It wasn't special because nobody wanted me. Yeah. Y'all, you realize that that's still a little bit unhinged despite whatever he might have said, right? Can two things be true simultaneously? Can we make Emma responsible for her reaction and him responsible for his? Can we separate it? Can we say that he's a nigga who, sorry, he's not a nigga. Can we say that this white man likes to use the Notebook to get in girls' pants and that's odd? And also it's odd to burst into tears because nobody wanted you in high school and the man asked. Let's continue. Thank you. They're both odd. I was watching two unhinged people. And here's the thing. When you're watching two unhinged people, the person who's the most sympathetic never gets called out. That's one of my main issues about these shows. Let's not use unhinged. Let's use insecurely attached. I'll take the feedback. Let's use insecurely attached. Because when I said unhinged, I was just reading the comments. So guys, sometimes, and this is why I like to keep the comments on the screen, sometimes when I use a word, I'm using the word as a way to call out to the person whose comment that I'm speaking to know that I'm actually talking to them. Which means sometimes I'm going to be using words that are not my word choice, but it's me conversing with the comments area. So before we play Semantic Sally, just know that I'm simultaneously talking to the replay audience, but I'm also talking to the blue crew who's in the thing. They said unhinged. I was using their word. We can use another word, okay? I will not be spending every 5 minutes doing word soup, though, with you guys. Respectfully. Thank you. Okay. So Emma needs a therapist more than she needs a husband. And here's the thing. Why does Emma need a therapist? You know why? When Tyler Perry was talking to Oprah about his essay, he was talking about how he was essayed huge. How do I say it? He was essayed in huge ways by people who were constantly attacking him and to come after you. And I never forget that Tyler, oh my God. I'm getting Tyler mixed up because I don't like any of them. So Mr. Perry, the man who makes the movies and questionable TV shows, I believe that when you are an abuse victim, the sharks can smell the blood in the water. Victimized, but that you move like a victim. I think that's with her. Mike wants ring the alarm with Beyonce when it goes round. Anybody with a little is heavily traumatized. Fragile is going to be gentle with you so that he can groom you. Somebody said, what's skipping for you? Okay, if it is skipping, even though we program, sometimes when I have too many programs up, y'all, I might have to go to Spectrum. If me using the Ethernet cord doesn't work, I might actually have to, I don't want to do Spectrum. Moving to a new build, they said. All right, I'm going to, can you guys see me now? I'm going to wait until you guys tell me the screen has cleared up. Actually, no, I can just open up on my own YouTube. Does this mean I'm not going to be able to go on? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Somebody saying it's not skipping. I'm going to call Verizon while the show is playing, so maybe they can fix it. Oh, Verizon. Oh, wait a minute. I look fine. What are y'all talking about? I look perfectly fine. All right, let's continue the show.
distraught when her first pick and her broke up. And there was a scene where she was with Mike and she was hugging all over him and saying, like, it was you, it's always been you. Girl, no, it hasn't. Let's be honest. You do realize that people have been watching this or will be watching it, and he's going to see that too. Also, I was cringing when they met with his parents because I was like, oh my God, I could not deal with these people. They are so annoying, overbearing, like, more power to you if she does stay with him. But man, I could not handle his mom as my mother-in-law. Now let's get into Emma's parents. I was a little sad for her because it felt like maybe she wasn't seen or heard when she was little as much as you would think that an adopted child would be, because they all seemed very surprised when she mentioned how much she was struggling as a child. I understand kids don't tell their parents everything and there's no possible way for them to know everything, but I feel like if your child...
Can y'all hear me? Because people keep on writing no sound. Is it no sound? Did you hit refresh? Can y'all hear me? Because I can hear me fine. I'm watching myself. Yeah, you guys, if you have a personal complaint, can you make sure that it's not just you? Because I keep stopping the show trying to be accommodating, but we're not going to get through the episode if you guys are... Okay, you guys can hear me. Okay, we're going to hit play, guys.
It's hurting. It's something that you would at least notice and maybe ask about. All of that to say, I hope these two don't get married. I think they're both great people individually, but I don't think they are good together.
These women are, I'm sorry, they are older and too accomplished.
Yes, guys, can you refresh before you announce the whole thing? You yell fire in the movie theater, because when you are reactive and yell fire, I have ADHD. You're stopping the entire show. Please don't be self-indulgent in that way. I'm begging.
Yeah. Then you should have gotten a bunch of guys in their late 40s for these women. Yeah. These women,
agree.
like,
I think one of the biggest issues with this season, aside from the fact that it's MAGA propaganda, is the fact that the women are heavily accomplished and the men are men. I don't have anything nice to say, so I'm trying not to be kind. But yeah, I think the disparity in accomplishment, emotional intelligence, and just all around like decency based on gender is really, really loud this season. Really, really loud.
like these guys can't even figure out how to hem a pant. Like, this is not good. I'm very scared.
No, I am too. They need, you're right. They need to have women in their early 30s and men who are in their early 40s.
Yeah.
Or 40-ish.
Or just less accomplished women. I mean,
less accomplished women would work too. Just nobody's equally yoked, really. Nobody's equally yoked, and the one couple that is equally yoked is a fucking plot, a scheme that Todd set up.
or more accomplished men. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, because most of those men had jobs that we had no idea what they were. It was like account manager, finance manager.
You know when you're lying on your resume, so you make up a job title, like I'm a senior consultant. And nobody knows what the fuck you actually do. Everybody who is male identified this season, except for Vic, has a job that I'm not sure really exists based on how they've titled it.
Account executive. I mean, tell me something I can understand. Doctor, lawyer, teacher, social worker. I don't know, but
and that's the other thing
manager?
too. Account manager means something very different depending on the company that you're with,
the industry,
and but there's a million and one account managers.
This is an absolute classic case of an insecure man trying to alleviate his I'm not enoughness by tearing down a beautiful, successful, confident, smart woman. The light faded from this man's eyes as soon as he went back to real life and saw her house.
So Jessica makes a lot of money, clearly, and is a doctor. And I think at one point I was going in and out of watching the show, and it was something to the effect of she was sitting on the couch with him and she said to him, I was looking for a 3-bedroom, but I ended up just getting a 4-bedroom, something to that effect. And I remember looking up like, oh, that's some shit that I would say. Like, I was looking for a 2-bathroom townhouse, ended up with 4 bathrooms. And I was like, oh, I'll take it. Right. I recognize, though, as a woman who talks like that, how certain men react to those sorts of casual musings. Right. In the words of my friend Kendall, bitch, people can tell sometimes by little things you say that you have a little bit of a coin. She signaled to him while sitting in her beautiful abode and talking about the extra bedroom that she lucked out into getting. Hey, I'm financially straight. I'm Gucci, right? The minute she did that, I was like, we're about to find out what kind of man he is. Y'all know how I feel about men who call me big money on dates. The minute she let that slip, and thank God Kendall has trained me as a woman to hear the moments where I'm accidentally letting men know that I have money. I was like, yeah, he's about to big money the fuck out of her, and he's going to neg her. For those who don't know what negging is, it is a ploy by the red pill community. When you meet a woman who thinks she's too fucking good, or she's just a woman who's decent and normal and accomplished, you say things that are negative to her, hoping that you'll chip away at her self-esteem, particularly if you've already been sexually active with her, because they think that once a woman opens her legs, she loses the ability to think straight. And sometimes we do. I'm not gonna lie, I've been dickmatized before. So you take a woman that you've been intimate with, or who you know really, really, really likes you and has been demonstrative about liking you, and you chip away at her self-esteem by saying little things that make her question her value. You neg her. You use negativity as a way to slowly but sure her bring her down to the level that you internally think that you're already at. He tried to neg her, and she left. He said, I'm used to dating girls who work out every day and who look like they do Pilates. You are 5'2" and don't look like you do Pilates. Mind you, this woman is like a size 6. You don't look like you do Pilates all the time. Could you work on that if I'm going to have to see you naked? She said, oh, this relationship's over. He said, what? She said, oh, I don't do Pilates every day. I'm a doctor. I have to go to work. So this relationship's over. And then she got up and left. This evil hobbit, this man who looks like if Elijah Wood or Tobey Maguire, you know, those little hobbit men that we all love in those movies, if one of them just, you took a picture of them or a painting of them and you took your finger in Elijah Wood painting and you swirled it around a little bit and you flicked the ears out more. That's what this motherfucker looks like. Talking all that shit. Let me watch my tongue. He looks like the backwash of Lucky Charms. And you got you an attractive fucking doctor with an extra fucking bedroom. Sir, she's 5'3", you're 5'4.5". What are you doing right now? What prize are you? Let me just hit play, y'all. Let me just hit play.
Thankfully, thank the high heavens, Jess is someone who clearly values herself. She has an innate sense of self-respect and self-love. So she walked. As soon as this man...
Y'all, when Icky, y'all know for the short story time about the young man who wasted my time 2 years ago. When he said, hey, I thought we were just friends, even though we were going on 12-hour dates. And I kept telling you how beautiful you were. But like, can we still be friends? I said, no. And he said, what? I said, no, we can't be friends. What are you talking about? You just wasted my time. My friends don't waste my time. Godspeed to you in your future endeavors. And he burst into tears. He would later lie and say, I burst into tears, even though me crying doesn't make sense in that scenario. He was like, what do you mean? I said, bet. If we're just friends, I don't even want to be that. Godspeed. People are always stunned when they see me really like somebody and the person plays in my face and I simply honor what's being revealed the first time. Oh, bet. I thought you were about shit. You ain't about nothing. Got it. The way I fucking want to tongue kiss Jessica, even though she's not my type, girl, I was sexually aroused by your self-esteem. Aroused. I wanted to flick my nipple. Bitch, you deserve the coolest side of the pillow. Thank you for showing that women like us really exist, because everybody thinks that I'm being self-aggrandizing when I tell you, if you ever play in my face, I don't give a fuck how much I love you. The fact that you are trying to manipulate me and make me feel less lovable as a prerequisite to have community with you, we ain't got to be in community with each other. You only got to tell me certain shit once. My ears work properly. They work. Right? And even if they didn't, nigga, I will learn how to read lips. Right? So women like us do exist. And the fact that I actually saw one on the screen, hey, yes. You know that meme of the girl who's leaving? She's wearing a Catholic school uniform. She's like, bye. And she runs out the room. Bridget always makes fun of me. She's like, you are like that girl. The minute I realized that you are determined to be chaos, I'm not trigger happy. For those of you who are trigger happy, like, yes, all you got to do is blink at me once. No, that is trauma, right? The fact that somebody can't cough without you breaking up with them, that's unresolved trauma. What I'm talking about is when somebody has very plainly made it clear that they are a harbinger of chaos and do not seek to be in community with you as an equal. That's when you say bed. Not, oh no, we had our first argument about, Cheetos and now I gotta break up with him. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. So, Jessica, the woman that you are, I'm happy you're on this season. You're probably the only woman this season that I could walk away respecting, except for Amber. Amber deserves her own fucking life. Amber is this beautiful blonde woman who's like, what's up with the evil hobbit? Amber walked up to the evil hobbit and said, good luck finding another hot doctor who will date your ass. To his face. She said, sir, have you seen you? For you to be telling this girl that she not hot.
Outright disrespected her and body shamed her, she walked. We love you, Jess. Her not doing CrossFit or Pilates every day is not a deal breaker. It wasn't a deal breaker in the pods. It wasn't a deal breaker on honeymoon. All of a sudden, as soon as he saw her nice lifestyle, it's a deal breaker. But him being outright disrespectful to her is a deal breaker.
If you are watching Love is Blind and you have been wondering where the audacity is coming from when it comes to Chris, all you need to see is his Instagram photo that he chose after.
Y'all, have y'all seen this? A lot of times the men who try to neg women who would have been amazing partners to them, when a man is trying to neg you because he thinks you are too good for him but doesn't want to admit it, so he wants to bring you down so he can feel superior, those same men are also often very incredibly delusional as a coping mechanism. Please watch this about what happened when a TikToker went snooping around the Hobbit's Instagram. And by the way, I'm saying Hobbit because he's a bad person. I'm not saying a Hobbit because I don't like short kings. My daddy is 5'5". My first love was also 5'5". I've actually dated men who are short. So this is, if you find you a good short man, wrap your arms around him like a spider monkey and ride him home, right? So this is not about him being short. Because statistically speaking, somebody gotta love the short niggas too, right? This is about the fact that you are genetically not what is considered the top of the food chain, and yet you've met somebody who, on paper, is running circles around you, and you're trying to find ways to make her feel small. It's the audacity for me, right? That's why he's a fucking hobbit.
Starting up social media for the first time to understand where he thinks he gets his audacity from. This is what he has as his Instagram photo.
Y'all, who that? Now I feel like Giselle calling Angel a catfish. Who is this? Harper, who is this man? What happened to Elijah Wood's backwash? Who is this? Oh, and for those who are talking about Kia, there was a young lady named Kia who was trying to date a man named Kevon, and Kia seemed to be one of them girls who for some reason got every Hanifa dress available, even though everybody else was waiting for theirs. No shade to Hanifa. She was a beautiful girl, and he was playing her face. And he also had neon yellow teeth. Why is his teeth so yellow? I've never seen neon yellow teeth on television before. Just give me a second. Every time I think about his teeth, my brain short circuit. So yes, there was a love triangle between two black women and a man with an Anthony Hamilton beard. Shout out to Anthony Hamilton, no shade, but we all know what that means. Okay? He had tufts of pubes on his cheek, bright neon yellow teeth, and a questionable hairline that looked more like a map of Africa than like. Anyways, old girl on her Hanifa dresses said, I think the fuck not. Yes, Tyler and Kia, right? So the Hanifa dress girl and the other girl said, yeah, we're not doing a love triangle. They didn't even know he had neon teeth. It's how you act, right? So between those two black queens who didn't even make it to the fucking rest of the show, and Amber and Jessica, I believe those ladies at the beginning of this clip were correct. The women are just too high caliber for the men that they chose. Awkward.
This is what he thinks he looks like. I swear to God, I was like, is this AI? It has to be. If not, he obviously had these professionally done, and there was some hard editing going on in this photo. Because be fucking for real, how is this guy the same as this guy? And how is this guy the same as this guy? Ooh. Now, what I find so crazy about all of this is the fact that he told Jess, I guess in the pods or throughout their conversation, that one of the biggest things he had pride in was that he didn't really have social media accounts. Yet after Love is Blind, he decided to set up this Instagram. And that is actually how people ended up finding this Instagram and seeing this profile picture. No matter how good you can look in a potentially AI'd photo or potentially professionally edited photo, we will only ever see you as this guy.
By the way, guys, y'all know for the first 6 months of me going live, I would show up in a muumuu with no makeup. You guys know what I look like underneath this makeup. No filter, right? Crust in my eyes. I would hate the idea of people only seeing a fake AI version of me and then me having to be outside. That is scary to me. People who do this have a courage that I could only dream of. I can show you the world, just not my real face. What do you mean? Okay. He does look more like a Keebler elf than whoever the beautiful man was in that Instagram picture. That's enough of these people, right? Because I'm going to go quickly over. Again, guys, I hate the show. You made me watch the show. This is what happened when you make me watch a show that I don't want to watch, y'all. Okay? I did not want to choose violence. Y'all made me watch this shit. Now I'm watching a fucking QVC ad for MAGA featuring Vic. And I'm very annoyed. Maybe because I'm PMSing. Well, now I'm on my cycle. I'm very annoyed that y'all made me watch this shit. I actually came here to cuss y'all out, but lucky for y'all, the men were worse. Y'all are lucky the men were so bad, I don't have time to cuss y'all out for making me watch it.
The worst part about it is he's been roasted so much online and the show isn't even over yet.
Chris wasn't trying to dump Jessica because of her body. He was trying to make her insecure, but it backfired. And that's why I guarantee when he dates a Pilates instructor next,
that man looks like he could fly away. Whew. This is who said, I only date girls who look like they do Pilates every day. Is he talking about female elves? What is he? Sorry, I'm not a shallow person, but here's the thing, guys. Remember I told you that in high school, I used to bully bullies? I'm a compassionate person who does not give a fuck about people judging how I look. Every time I piss y'all off, y'all call me a fat bitch. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm not shallow. However, I was raised bullying bullies. So when he bullied Jessica, in the words of Michael Jordan, I took that personally. Y'all are getting a glimpse of how I was in high school. In high school, I'd be teacher's pet, but if you picked on one of the smaller kids, this is how I would show up. Okay? So he's saying that he's used to Smurfettes and Keebler elves that do Pilates every day. Instead, he got a rich, attractive doctor. You spelled thank you wrong, you dumbass.
he will say to her, I'm just used to dating doctors. It's hard for me to be attracted to someone that's not serious about their career. Because this
Did you hear what she said? She said men like this always move the goalpost when they're trying to neg you. And so in the same way, he tried to neg Jessica by saying, oh, I'm used to girls who look like they, do Pilates every day. If he was to meet a girl who has a Pilates business where she's making millions and has 5 million fucking followers and he felt insecure, he would flip it and say, well, my ex-wife, my ex-fiance was a doctor and she had 4 bedrooms even though she only wanted 3. The thing that they used to neg you was never real. It's a moving goalpost. She's right about making that point. It was not about the fact that she doesn't do Pilates every day.
was never about Jessica's body. It was about Chris's insecurities. And he wasn't even trying to break up with her either by saying that. He was just trying to drag her down to his level, to try to make her feel insecure about something because he was intimidated by her success. He 100% thought that Jessica would try to seek his approval after he said that Pilates comment. That she would be like, I'm so sorry, we can work on this, I'll go to the gym. But she didn't.
He kept on saying, I just told her that I wish she would work out more. Why'd she leave me? Sir, whoever you bought that course from about how to get a hot babe in 10 days and they told you that negging was going to work on women who actually like themselves, you should probably get a refund.
She dumped him, and that was not part of Chris's plan. You can tell.
I feel like I don't have to drag this man. I just need to lift this picture up.
By how he acted after the breakup. He immediately made an Instagram, bought followers, started DMing the other girls from the show, went to the strip club, and told everyone that she's the worst he's ever had.
Oh, he went around and told everybody that Jessica, the doctor with the extra bedroom, is the worst sex he's ever had in his life. While on camera at a social hour with the entire cast. Then he ran over to his second pick, the woman he didn't propose to, and told her, the guy that you're with sucks. You should give me a chance. I could give you the best sex of your life. Men who use terms like best sex and worst sex so casually are telling me they're not good at sex. Anybody who's good at sex knows how many variables go into great sex. The chemistry, the vibe, the ambiance, the pheromones, the positions. There's so many, as somebody who is decent at sex, from what I've heard, yeah, how you doing? There are so many vulnerable variables into having amazing sex that when somebody talks about good sex and best sex and worst sex and absolutes, you're telling me that you don't know how to eat cooch. You're telling me you got 3 moves that you think are it. And nobody has the heart to tell you that that's not my vagina, that's my belly button. That's all I heard. And here's the thing. His second pick, who's with a nice man, she's a toxic girl who, how do I say this nicely? She's tall and blonde and still wouldn't be cast as a hot girl in a high school flick. She's the kind of blonde girl who you can tell thinks because she's skinny and blonde, she should be hotter, but on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like a good 6. She's like the girl who's probably everybody's best friend, right? She's the cool female bestie. For her to have a nice man swooning over her and spoiling her while the man who rejected her is a toxic fucking evil hobbit telling her he wants to blow her back out, not because he actually likes her, just because he wants to spite his ex who walked out on him because she has self-esteem. She was flattered by it. You could tell the toxic part of her that's not used to ever being chosen once, let alone twice, is loving that the man who rejected her has circled the block. Rather than say, hey, this is kind of gross that you bought a bunch of followers and went to the strip club and have come up here like a fucking evil little demon wood nymph and are wrecking havoc on people's happy homes. You just played in my girl's face, not too fucking much on my homegirl Jessica. That's what a woman with self-esteem would do. A woman who's not used to being chose, a pick me. What do I always say, guys? There's nothing worse in this world than a pick me who's been picked. There is nothing worse in this world than a pick me who has finally been picked. I call them sore winners. Drake, if you will, another sore winner, right? When you are a pick me, there's so much lack in even having a pick me mindset that even when you get the bounty that you preyed on, it's still not enough. Bree, I hope you get exactly what you deserve from that little hobbit.
Because it was never about fitness or attraction. It was about him trying to control her. And when she walked away instead, his ego could not handle it.
PSA, ladies, if a man ever tells you that professionally he...
Now let's move on to, we're going quick, guys. I only got like an hour and some change, right? We're going to go on to Alex and the blonde girl. I don't even know the blonde girl's name because the minute I found out that her whole family was MAGA, I stopped hearing everything. It was like Charlie Brown to me. So if y'all know the blonde lady's name, sure. I don't even know Alex's name because I need to know who we're dragging today. Okay? Y'all made me watch this horrible fucking show. This is what you get. Alex is a tall, attractive man in the vein of Ben Affleck is my third cousin. Ashley, there we go. Of course her name is Ashley. Really? A blonde MAGA supporter named Ashley who wants to move to Florida because they have her politics? Lord. It's almost like somebody, this is fiction, y'all. So, Alex looks like he's Ben Affleck's third cousin. And he's over 5'10". So in his mind, that means he's a god. That's all it took. That's all it took. Alex is convinced that Bad Bunny ain't got nothing on him. He thinks he's a bad bitch. And though I'm concerned and think he might be unemployed. Because his job is he's a part-time soccer coach / Forex day trader. That's giving unemployed. Now, I recognize many of you have husbands who are in their gaming right now trying to do Forex and do day trading, and you might be upset about me saying that the math says he's unemployed. And that is why I got a white woman to come explain to you what I would have said instead, because I know it's more palatable. So white woman, please say the thing that I just said.
He's a soccer coach and a day trader. Just know that professionally, he's a soccer coach who may or may not have an irresponsible gambling habit. Being a day trader for a man is akin to being a Mary Kay entrepreneur for a woman.
I almost choked on my water. Why does Mary Kay keep catching strays in this fucking live? Is Mary Kay still around? Let's look into that. But this is hilarious. Go ahead, sis.
There are 4 buckets of being a day trader and as a self-proclaimed.
And when he keeps on saying he likes to travel
For those who don't understand the language of hobosexuals, I know them very well. I've had my back cracked by many an unhoused man. Likes to travel means homeless, unhoused. Okay, so he's unemployment and unhoused.
In day trader, you can only fall into 1 out of 4 of these buckets. The first bucket is the most rare. That's being a successful day trader. This is akin to enjoying basketball and being in the NBA. It's very, very rare.
When she met Ashley's MAGA father, who's also a lawyer, he said, do you work in finance or are you a finance professional? He said, I work in finance. Okay, the guy in the mailroom technically works in finance based on that definition, Alex.
Second bucket is that you're a day trading influencer, which means you may have notoriety, fans, and money, but that comes from clickbait and from playing the algorithm and not because you're actually a good day trader. So you teach people how to day trade, but you yourself don't even really know how to day trade. The third bucket are people who are actively employed elsewhere. The fourth bucket of people are delusional because they keep day trading, listening to Jerome Powell talk with silly little earbuds in, and either think they are in bucket number 1 or think they are a few trades outside of bucket 1. In the case of this strange man, he is a mix between bucket number 3 and number 4. Regardless of what bucket this man falls into at a given time, either bucket 3 or 4, it definitely means that he is not a successful day trader.
I'm from Ohio, born and raised, and I knew as soon as I saw this guy that he was going to be a problem.
By the way, for those who are saying Alex is a liar and old girl dad clocked it, can I tell you something? I realized that I have dated so many men who are perceived as attractive and tall, who are also pathological liars. There's a shake they do when the truth is in the room. It's almost like men like this, or people like this. There are women like this too, guys. So this is not gendered. I'm just saying that he's a man. But men who move like this have a shake that they do when you give them too much truth. It's like throwing water on a gremlin. Yeah, right? And so whenever you are talking to a man who is used to telling a certain level of lies without ever being clocked, and everybody lets them get away with it, when you finally have the audacity to ask them regular questions that reveal that they're a compulsive liar, their voice shakes. It's very shaky. Perfect example. He was like, my granddaddy, my grandpappy, he was an amazing man. He died at 67 though, and it was rough because he had been married to my grandmammy for about 56 years. He was married for 56 years, so it was so hard that he died at 67. And everybody who could do math said, now hold on, wait, what? How was he married for 56? Oh, no, I think he said 53. How was he married for 53 years if he died at 67? Because numbers. And he said, well, I'm thinking he's going to say they met on the playground, right? At the playground, the playground. Like, I'm thinking he's going to say it was on the playground. He's talking about he was at work one day and went to get a sandwich and ran into her. How was he working if he was 12? Was he a chimney sweep? Was Mary Poppins in them floating above? Why'd y'all make me watch this show? This man said his 11-year-old grandpa fell in love with his grandma at work, and they were married for 72 years, even though he died at 67. And, and that's why I'm the perfect man for your daughter. To a lawyer. Lawyers know how to do math, Alex. Oh my God. If I wanted to be a pathological liar, at the very least, I would get my math straight. Then the father says, you know what? He starts laughing. When you're around somebody who's so full of shit, you're tickled by it because you recognize anything you say, you're gonna look like the bully. Shout out to Icky and all the men who've wasted my time. Every time a man is lying to me and he's bad at it, but you can tell he's prolific in it despite being bad at it, I almost have to stop asking questions because now I'm going to have to laugh at you and I'm going to be the rude one. So his father starts going, you know what? If my daughter like you, that's all that mattered. That's the white equivalent of if you like it, I love it. Plot twist. He indeed did not love it. But then the pappy said, I just want you to know my daughter's just like me. He said, you so bad at this, I don't actually have to grill you. My daughter is my child. She'll take the rest from here. Fast forward a couple scenes later. She starts asking about his love life and his homelessness, his unhousedness, his travel. I gotta get his life straight, right? She starts asking about his travel lifestyle as a day trader, unemployed, unhoused, and starts asking about his love life. And he's talking about he was dating this girl from like June to like October, and he met this other girl that he was dating from September to January. And she said, now hold on, those months, because I can also read a map, right? In addition to my pappy being a lawyer who can do math, my daddy also taught me how to read a calendar. September is involved twice in this story. So you said you had 2 bitches in September? Nah, there was no overlap. What you talking about? There was no overlap. And not only was there no overlap, even if there was, I wasn't technically dating none of them. Wait. Which one is it? Was there no overlap? Or were you just not technically dating any of them simultaneously in September? Like I told Icky, you have to pick a story for me to play along with. Just pick one. I've already decided to play along with whatever you're going to tell me because I'm tired. But you have to pick one, though, for me to play along with. So, yeah, that's Alex.
And he's very, very, very annoying. The way that he talks about really famous soccer players. Like, to be fair, I've never heard of you, but I have heard of David Beckham and I have heard of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Exactly.
And maybe he looks really great in person, but I feel like Ashley is bigging him up when he already thinks he's the most attractive person in the room. And to be honest, I don't think he is. Now, Ashley, I'm going to give you some blame too, because the two of you together are just so shallow and superficial.
Yeah.
And I understand that you want to have chemistry and
They had an argument about sex because they had not had sex in like 5 days. Mind you, they don't know each other for 8 days. So take a day off. She was like, we were doing this mud bath together on our date, and I came home horny, and you went out to run an errand. And he said, well, I just wanted to run an errand, and I just feel like you were talking about babies, and you was on your period, and I didn't want to have a baby. I can't get pregnant on my fucking period, you dumbass, fine ass motherfucker. I just wanted to have sex. Well, I don't know when women can get pregnant. I just feel like you want to get pregnant, so I don't want to fuck. And honestly, why did you try to fuck me? Netflix played that. This grown man said, well, why did you try to fuck me then? I've never heard a man say, why did you try to fuck me? There's a part of my body, like my vagina, if the moisture could just... My puss got dry on her behalf, y'all. That's some new shit. I've had second-hand embarrassment. I've never had second-hand dry puss. And she was like, what? I don't want to always have to initiate. You know, he's like, well, you initiated last time. Yeah, because I was horny, nigga. Whoa, you should have tried to fuck. Oop, what just happened? Netflix is watching. I also unplugged the Ethernet. I don't think the Ethernet's working as well as I thought. I'm just going to use regular Wi-Fi. I unplugged the Ethernet. Am I back? Am I back? Am I still frozen? Oh, I'm still frozen. Hold on. Let's see. All right, I think I'm back. Okay, I'm looking at myself. I'm back. Maybe God was telling me to stop. Okay, I'm back. I unplugged the Ethernet cord. I don't think the Ethernet cord is going to work, y'all. I tried. That's somebody said Netflix is trying to. You know what I think? I'm going to make lemonade out of lemons. I think that for the Thursday live, I might check into a nice hotel with good Wi-Fi and treat myself. Why not? Yeah, I might check into a nice hotel on Wednesday and treat myself so that I don't have to do this for that story time, because that's annoying. Anyways, let's get back to Alex. Let me just play the Alex clip.
sexual compatibility with your partner. But the way that you two just obsess over each other's looks to the point where it's all that you have in common is just like difficult to see, especially when we hear the fact that you usually don't pick good guys. He doesn't seem like a good guy. I hate to see that for her. I hate to see any woman feel like they're you.
No, last season was the last season. Y'all bullied me. I didn't even want to watch this season. For everybody who bullied me, this is what y'all did. Y'all did this.
Just for sex and to move on to something else. Now, was she using him for sex too? I'll leave that question up to Ashley if she comes on my podcast. Because I don't think that he seems like a nice guy, I don't really want to see him with Brittany, but I do want to see Brittany get more affection and attention from...
Here's the funny thing. This man is with this blonde bombshell. And just her luck, he in this super white cast full of people who are either white or have made it clear that whiteness is a prerequisite for their desirability politic. Poor Ashley ended up with the only man who, a la third cousin of Ben Affleck, prefers Latinas. The only man who likes women of any colors ended up with the blondest, most Barbie-looking bitch in the crowd. God has a sense of humor. Now, Brittany's a baddie. You have eyes. Brittany is Black and Colombian. In most urban environments, in most white environments, Brittany would be seen as an exotic preference. Unfortunately for Brittany, while Alex, who's unhoused and unemployed, i.e. a traveling Forex day trader, he likes her. Guess who doesn't like Brittany, though? The person that she ended up with. Brittany is a baddie who ended up with the only man in the entire fucking cul-de-sac who would have the audacity to not recognize that she's out of his league. We'll get to that in a second.
Devontae than she's getting because it's clearly making her feel very confused.
So has anybody found his 23andMe yet?
This is the man who's rejecting Brittany. I'm gonna make this bigger so I can see it bigger. This is the man who is rejecting Brittany. I hope we can dispel the myth that all biracial people are attractive. This nigga looks like Steph Curry's genetic leftovers with a belly. This motherfucker's name is Devontae. This man looks like what Drake would look like if he had poor credit and no options. He's biracial. This man's titties could probably fit Britney's bras and bralettes. Oh my God, you African king. I want to have your babies because our children are going to be so beautiful. Or they could be Devontae. This man needs to get genetically tested because his 72% Nigerian is loud. Yes? It's very loud. I don't know if he's convinced himself that he's just an exceptionally nappy white man, but we all know what we're looking at. You couldn't even pass in the antebellum South. And yet you end up with a genetic specimen like Brittany, a perfect hourglass Afro-Latina with sparkling white teeth who's objectively gorgeous, even by the most myopic standards of whiteness. And she needs to grow on you. Devontae. Because you only date white girls. You look like, you know when a turtle is in the shell, if you ripped it out the shell and there was only the meat left, he looks like albino turtle meat to me. If Donatella had a Sammy Sosa complex and used bleaching cream, if Michelangelo and them put down the pizza and used bleaching cream, I promise you it would be Devontae, and you have the fucking audacity to make this girl actually question if she's good enough to be held and touched. Are you fucking kidding me? Let me breathe. You know what? I'm gonna have to tell Carlos' team that I might be running late because these I was trying to do this fast, but these motherfuckers are pissing me off. Why y'all making me watch this? Why did y'all make me watch this show? Let me just hit play. My leg is shaking. I'm so mad. We haven't even gotten to Vic and Christine yet. Let me breathe.
Because I'm confused. His ancestry.com, his genealogy, I am very confused as to what's going on here. Did I miss something? Did he talk about his background at all? Because by his name, I'm thinking one thing, but by some of the...
These are the niggas that Harriet left behind. She would have shot you and put you under a pile of leaves, Devontae. Sorry. And your mama probably named you that so your daddy would claim you. That's the gag. Your mama probably named you Devontae so your daddy would actually claim you, and he still didn't come back. Let me breathe. Okay, let me hit play. Sorry.
Comments he's made, I'm thinking another, so I'm just confused.
Assuming y'all have caught up on Love is Blind season 10, let's talk about Devontae, because what do you mean? You know, I was surprised when I found out Brittany was a woman of color, and I've never dated a woman of color before. Mind you, this is the man who was shocked that the girl behind the wall...
If Drake's filter ever came off because he moved too fast, and that's what Devontae looked like.
...was a woman of color. Are you...
Devontae, you look like a woman of color. You are a woman of color. I knew a lesbian named Sam in DC who looks just like you. And your titty's bigger than hers. You are a biracial soft stud. Get your estrogen checked before you talk shit about Brittany. Get your estrogen checked, my brother. Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? Let me leave this man and his cleavage alone. Let's play.
You're not a man of color?
Hey, man, can somebody get Devontae a mirror? This can't even call him a nigga. This nigga must not know he a nigga. Hey, come on, girl. And what's crazy is when he thought Brittany was white in the pods, it was all good. It was all good. It was all good just a week ago. Type beat. They got out. She said, okay, she got a little melanin on her. He thought, okay, she might be Latina.
Shout out to anybody in DC. Y'all know Sam. That nigga looks just like Sam, don't he? He looks just like her.
You know what I'm saying? But when she said, oh yeah, one of my parents is black, the other one's Colombian, now all of a sudden she colored. And now all of a sudden she...
The minute she said my daddy black, you could literally see his clan mask fall over his head, child. Probably got stuck in the back of his kitchen though.
God damn, I ain't know she was a nigga. This ain't what I signed up for. I signed up for my ice queen. Oh my God. Why they always cast these folks with poor racial identity, poor racial self-esteem? Love is Blind. Y'all got to do a little bit better.
You see this couple right here? Yo, #1 couple.
Now, it's not lost on me that everybody knows how to clock Devontae's bullshit, but none of you clocked the same bullshit in a different outfit with better genetic makeup. If you were able to clock Devontae but not Vic, well, this might be the part of the live where you call me a villain, and it's okay. I'm about to mean every fucking thing I'm about to say. Just assume I always mean what I say. It's easier that way. I need you guys to understand the difference between overt and covert. Overt versus covert. Overt versus covert. Devontae, right? The king of genetic leftovers. Devontae is obvious. He is no different. He is no different than Vic, except he is more honest and less covert. The fact that everybody has clocked Devontae and only 7 of you have clocked Vic is the only reason why I felt, for educational reasons, I would talk about this vapid, whitewashed, MAGA heavy show when I could be laying down eating bonbons waiting for Carlos' show to start later, right? Y'all took my afternoon off, and this right here is why we're here. Now, my introduction to Vic, and you know how my spirit guides love to show me things on social media and use the algorithm to hit me to bullshit. I sometimes am like, do my spirit guides have Wi-Fi up there? Because before the season started, Vic was posting things saying, oh, just 24 hours until the internet gets a glimpse into my love life. And the first thing I heard, and maybe me being psychic gives me an unfair advantage, so I should also call that out, right? My spirit guide screamed, this nigga knows that the edit is going to make him a fave. And he's already smugly preparing himself to be everybody's fave. And whoever he ends up with is probably a white woman, and he thinks that they are going to be the inverse of Lauren and Cam. And by golly, this is why I charge so much per hour for my readings. That's exactly what and the fuck ended up happening. I was so stunned by how clearly my spirit guides clocked this man before the show even aired that when I finally saw the show and watched exactly what they told me pan out, my breath was took. I took my own breath away. Let's have a quick story time because I see this nigga so clearly. I'm not even gonna pretend this is a Scooby-Doo mystery, but I'm gonna try to walk y'all through it. Let's say that you are a black man in academia who used to be a street nigga. And because education saved you, you now find yourself in these bastions of whiteness, in these ivory towers where your intelligence makes you a token, even though you are monoracial and non-ambiguously black. And in these bastions, these places, these monuments of whiteness, right? Because education means whiteness under white supremacy, because God forbid niggas be smart, right? You are around white people who are constantly talking about what a good dude you are. In your mind now, you are the good black. You grew up seeing your mama get her ass beat by her boyfriend, and your sister, the strong black woman that she is, ran in there to save your mama because by your own admission, you were too much of a coward to do so. You didn't have no street cred, right? So in your mind, black women are strong, right? Black women can take a licking and keep on ticking. When your white girlfriend will later ask you, is your mama okay? You're going to dismissively say, of course she's okay. She shook that shit off. We forgave that man. Because in your mind, these beautiful black queens, these mules, your mama, your sister, and them can take a licking and keep on ticking. They're strong, but they're not desirable. You know what is desirable, though? When you're in these rooms with these rich white men, and they're all lusting after a hot blonde. You're now 6+, right? 6'3", 6'4". Your dreadlocks have gone past that awkward phase and are growing down your back. Your beautiful eyes, your face that probably resembles the same black mother that you were determined to never date a woman who looks like her. You're like, damn, when I was broke, I was dating black women. Then I did the Latina thing. But now I'm a professor. I can actually compete with these white men. And like all the black men before me who are fallen prey to the trappings of the bourgeoisie, there is no way as a black man to best a white man at his own game better than taking one of their bitches. The minute I get me a white girl, can't nobody tell me shit. The streets will never see the back of my head again. But hold on though, I have Wi-Fi. I'm a black man working in academia. I'm surrounded by black women also working in academia because those bitches keep getting degrees. They're so strong, just like my mama and my sister, who got their asses beat and then forgave their abusers. So strong. That's why they're my homegirls. I'm not gonna date them, no, that's not sexy. It's admirable, it's strong, but it's not sexy. I know from being on Black Twitter and TikTok that if I admit that me, this black specimen that I've worked so hard to be, with all these degrees, this professor that I am, if I admit that I want some of the milk, these bitches are going to drag me by my ankles and my toenails and hang me in the Times Square. So how do I get my bohemian queen? How do I get to have the whiteness that I so desire as the final infinity stone, right? Because I'm white supremacy Thanos. How am I able to go on this show and date white women like I want to without being dragged? Oh, I know what I can do. I can preemptively already prepare my talking points. When she asks my type, I'll say I've dated Black, Latino, and white in that order. See, sis, you came first. Then I'm going to share the stories of my Black mother, because there's nothing that Black women love more than a man who loves her mother. White bitches already like me because I already look like this, so I don't have to do much. But they'll like the fact that I love my mother as well. I'm going to share the stories and the plights of Black women, right? Because I think highlighting Black women is enough without ever having to acknowledge that I don't want to procreate with one. Oh, speaking of procreation, though, how do I make sure that me and my Bohemian Scandinavian goddess are protected from the Black women who are going to chastise her and I for not being able to raise biracial kids properly? Because again, I have no street cred, so it's under examination. I know. I'm going to make a speech about, hey, so check it. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm Black and you's white. You sure look nice, master's daughter. I just want you to know that we're going to have to figure out how to talk to our kids. We're going to have to figure out how to talk to our little biracial babies about the fact that I was a nigga. And when she looks into my eyes and says, oh my God, we're right. We're totally going to have to do that. Are you like scared that I'm white? I'm going to let the mask slip and be like, no, I'm not scared. Shit, I'm happy. Oop, yeah. No, I'm not scared. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm going to unintentionally dismiss a valid concern because my true desire to have you, my white Nubian queen, is the truth of what's in my heart. All the heavy-handed conversations we're going to have, even though on paper they're going to look great, any Black academic woman who has shared space with me and can tell what I'm into is going to clock at the lack of depth in the words that I've been practicing to make this speech all along. Only they're going to clock me. The other Black women, though, who are so deprived of a tall, fine Black man who talks about race in any capacity, their bar is so low that me just saying the terms biracial babies and we're going to have to try hard, it's going to make them weep. They're going to be moved by the fact that I merely fucking acknowledge the obvious. And then I can go back to you. I can go back to you and be their savior. Maybe Lauren and Cameron will invite us to dinner. And scene. Vic, I see you, brother. Brother, I see you. Many Black women in academia who share space with you see you. It was never going to be us. But thank you for putting us on the list of women that you are open to dating. However, when the white woman that you were pandering to on the other side of the wall because her voice was so obviously white, and is that why you talk even slower and lower than usual and dropped your voice to the most sexy Black man timbre you could so she could know that there was a Nubian king waiting on the other side for her because you knew that'd be attractive? Hi, I'm Vic. I'm an attractive Black professor. I sound tall, don't I? Let me talk about how much of a feminist I am. When you talk to her and she says to you, I'm happy that you date all types of women because I would not want to date a man who only has one type. If you were actually pro-Black, it would bother you that she acts like it's virtuous for Black men to only date Black women. You would say, actually, it's okay for Black people like me to only date Black people because systemically we've been allowed to not have that moment, right? We've been disallowed, I should say, right? Systemically, we've been pulled apart. So if a Black man only dates Black women, there's nothing wrong with that. An actual pro-Black person would be like, well, as you can tell, my name is Vic. I got a thick voice. You could smell the nigga through the wall. I'm open to everything, but Black women are my preference, right? There's certain little moments where pro-Blackness actually rears its head. It never reared its head with you. It never reared its head because it wasn't there. You are a proud token. An attractive, tall, educated, proud token. It was never going to be a sister. It was never going to be a sister. My brother, we both know. Me, you, and the group chat all know it was never going to be a sister. But congratulations on fooling all the other Black women who are falling for this bullshit. So yeah, let's talk about Vic, y'all. Let's talk about fucking Vic.
They are endgame. This is my favorite couple on Love is Blind. I'm not even gonna lie, because you know why? They're so peaceful. There's no drama.
Respectability politics is peaceful by design, my brother. Respectability politics is peaceful even in the face of being complicit to anti-Blackness. But go off though, because peace is more important than progress, right?
happening. And I got beef with Netflix because why don't they ever have a camera crew?
This is
White women are shedding tears watching Vic, y'all. There's actually footage of white and black women sobbing about how, oh my God, Vic is our savior. Get the fuck out of here.
My period better come any second now. Just to hear you speak.
White women are playing Lauryn Hill while crying over a man who would never give them a time of day. The irony that, oh my God, I need to breathe. I'm gonna just let this play, y'all.
Vic and Christine are off in their happy little bubble, and that's how I like it.
For those who are asking, why were Vic and Christine not included in most of the couples trips? It's because, guys, Netflix picked 6 toxic couples. None of them are probably going to end up staying together. They realized last season nobody stayed together. We can't have 2 seasons of people not staying together. So, hey, that interracial couple that trauma bonded, let's call them and have them tape some shit on their phone so we can infuse them in a second edit to salvage the season. When you have a season where everybody's toxic and nobody gets married, you need Vic and Christine. Vic and Christine, in my opinion, are a Cam and Lauren Hail Mary to save a drowning season, and you're fucking falling for it. So it's not why aren't they in the season? They were not in the season. They weren't chosen. They were an afterthought after the evil leprechaun and the unhoused Forex trader failed to give them the season that they wanted. They needed at least one good couple for y'all to swoon. So maybe you'll come back next season.
Can we talk about Vic from Love is Blind? There's a lot to talk about. You know, there's the whole Vic and Christina, their relationship together. There's some stuff to talk about there as well, but let's focus on Vic first. Why isn't he able to find a woman in real life?
Can I be honest? If a tall, attractive, well-educated black man who makes good money and who has emotional intelligence cannot find a black woman to marry in his ecosystem, despite him saying he's prioritized it, 9.5 times out of 10, it's because he actually hasn't prioritized them. And because he's in Ohio or wherever he is, where that's very white, based on what the Emma, the Asian contestant, told us, if you're in a lily white space, suddenly it's the only place it's hard for you is in a place where being tall, fine, and black is not enough. The only reason you're single is because you've convinced yourself black girls don't like nerdy men like me who are tall, attractive, and emotionally intelligent. Shout out to Childish Gambino. Right? You know the anime bros who swear that there's no black women who would love them, even though we live in a world where Meg Thee Stallion and people like her exist? Yeah, men who do not want black women will always find a backstory to play revisionist historian to explain why they can't find us. Statistically speaking, it's almost impossible. It is almost impossible. It's 100 of us to 1 of you, Vic. All you had to do was walk outside and piss on a tree, and you would hit a black woman standing behind and saying, oh, do you want a tissue? You want some hand wipes? It's ridiculously easy to find black women to marry when you are tall, attractive, and have a good job. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, somebody called him David Glover. The statistical impossibility of your premise is part of the reason why I'm calling bullshit as an academic.
If he's as amazing as we are seeing on our screens, that's the biggest red flag to me. Like, this man is gorgeous, emotionally intelligent, smart. I don't understand how he isn't able to find a woman in real life. Why is Vic on Love is Blind? I am so confused. I have no idea.
We know Love. We watched the show. We know he lived in Ohio. Sorry, we lived in Ohio, then he lived in New York first. We know. That's why when he said he dated black women and Latinas and then white, that was our shout out. We know.
Why is Vic on Love is Blind?
Victor sits down like, my name's Victor. I go by Vic. I had never seen any black.
By the way, in the same way that I sometimes say things that are provocative yet true that y'all don't want to subscribe to, I'm a black woman, I found a black man who agrees with me. I'm going to let him say all the shit I just said. Sometimes y'all shoot the messenger, so I try to get messengers that you guys find palatable. This black man is about to play out what the fuck I just said because maybe it'll sound different.
Black person be like, hey, I'm Vic. Nice to meet you. He's like, I've been waiting to get married for quite some time and I'm looking for some top shelf milk. Yeah, like a moth to a flame. Oh, what do you do? He's like, I'm a professor at one of the universities at Columbus. She's like, oh, Are you African American? Yeah, I'm from New York, actually. I played professional baseball for the Brooklyn Negroes. Did you tell your family you're coming here? Are you a Christian? And here he's about to take her down a winding road. Start talking to women over 27 about God.
The virtue signaling was laid on so thick, y'all. The virtue signaling was laid on so fucking thick. Oh my God.
Family, dude. It's over with.
I'm probably going to get some backlash on this, but I don't love Christine and Vic. Yeah, I don't love them at all. Don't get me wrong. They are a nice couple, okay? I see what the show has tried to do by making it seem like they are perfect for each other. They have been through some very tough things in their life and they just get each other. But all I see here is red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag across the board, okay? I saw two people doing a lot of trauma bonding. And
I'm not, you must be new here, Chris. I'm not against interracial relationships. I actually do many videos talking about all the ways that interrelationships can be healthy and safe. So please don't be so lazy with your assumptions. Read the room. I'm an emotional intelligence coach. I'm talking about how anti-Blackness can sometimes be conflated as preference. We're smart here, guys. So whatever lazy rhetoric that would work in most spaces is not going to work here. I'm not anti-interracial relationships. And if you're going to try to cast me as a Black woman who hates on all Black men who date white women, the receipts say differently. You picked the wrong person to say that to. You want to say? Because if you want to say, you're going to have to be smarter with your retorts and also maybe refrain from making assumptions that are factually inaccurate. I did a whole speech about 40 minutes ago about how I love when a Black person can be properly loved by another pro-Black person, even if that person isn't Black. That statement alone is the opposite of your assumption. Do better.
I don't like that shit, okay? I don't like it at all. Now, I know that the stuff that Christine has been going through in her life and within her family is not her fault. I know it's all, down to the traumas of her mother and, shit happens, right? Like, everybody has baggage, everybody has stuff. However, I've lived a very, very colorful life, okay? I've seen all kinds of characters. And
here's the thing, guys. If a Black man like Vic, who subscribes to respectability politics and finds some sort of valor in being a token in white spaces, was to meet a girl named Keisha, who has a criminal record that had to be expunged as a child for being caught with drug possession, and comes from a family where her father is an ain't shit motherfucker who walked out on her and her mama, and her and mama were poor, damn near eating government cheese. He'd be like, she's a hood rat, right? I just described Christine. Christine is a white hood rat. Everything that makes y'all call Black women hood rats, Christine is. Ain't shit daddy who never came back, fucked up, poverty-ridden childhood, single mother, all types of shit. Every Sexy Red and Christine could switch bios and you would believe it belonged to Sexy Red and not Christine. A woman built like that, with that history, would be called unattractive as a Black woman. Yes? You would say she had linebacker shoulders. You would mention her thinning hair, her slightly receding hairline, her titties that even in a push-up bra barely reach, not a hip or a dip, and she looks like her mama. Daddy issues, criminal record, deep unresolved trauma, low self-esteem. If her name was Keisha, she wouldn't even be a prize. But you call her Christine now, and this your queen, yes? This your queen, yes, brother? This your fucking queen, right?
From my experience, people who come from very, very traumatic environments, like the environments that Christine was describing, i.e. her family, it never ends well. It never ends well. I feel like there is a lot of trauma there. And while Vic might seem like he is the level-headed, calm, amazing savior guy in this moment, because he was able to identify with her story by having a traumatic story of his own, listen, they have not known each other long enough to be able to really, really determine whether either of them are equipped enough to deal with the kind of problems that Christine was talking about. Okay, Vic proposed to that girl having no idea what being in her family is really, really like. He got told an overview.
Her white hood rat family. Well.
But he has no idea the level of trauma Christine has within herself and her family is currently carrying. This is not something that they are over as a family. This is not something that the mum is currently, going to therapy about and currently trying to fix. In fact, she has no interest in trying to fix it. And you're telling me she's just going to walk in there and, it's all going to be hunky-dory? Of course not. The thing is that when you trauma bond, it kind of gives you like a false sense of like intimacy in a way, and it makes you feel like the other person like proper gets you, and it makes you feel like like you're really, really close to this person. And I'm not saying that either of them are lying or like their feelings are.
I just texted Carlos's team that I'm running 20 minutes late because this is actually too important for me to skip out on. I need you guys, and also because of my cramps, I've been 20 minutes late on everything today. I need you guys to understand that I have no issues with Christine. I actually have no issues with Christine. My issue is that Vic has found a palatable way to market and spoon feed his own internalized anti-Blackness. And he does it so stoically that he has unintentionally been part of a bigger issue in this season of how, actually, you know what? Let me pull up this group chat real quick. He's unintentionally being a great example of what's happening this entire season of how they are whitewashing us with this show. They are making it seem like as long as you find you a good white, you know what I mean? And that's not about love. That's actually more about anti-Blackness. There's so much preference that is steeped in anti-Blackness. I'm going to show you my Threads feed real quick. I posted on Threads. I want to make sure if I can find the thread that I did about Vic and Christine. Hold on. Because I want to go back to the very beginning. Damn, I posted a lot of shit. America's Next Top Model. Oh, it won't let me see anymore. Let me see Vic and Christine. Oh, here it is. It was actually much earlier. There was a group of academic women that I found today that actually made me feel like I wasn't going crazy. A woman named Jessica _J, go find her on Threads and tell her that Blue sent you. She posted, as a Black woman in higher education, when I saw Vic, I already knew. It's a very open secret about Black men in the academy, right? And then in the thread, she also wrote, everybody asking me, you only mean predominantly white institutions? You've got to be joking, right? Exactly. And somebody else says, it is, but it's also admission seats. Hold on, that's funny. Let me see. Are you trying to say there's something wrong with Black men choosing to be with the white woman? The white woman took offense. The white woman came in here and took offense. However, when Kevon, and this is how men who are not pro-Black, but who use respectability politics to seem like good niggas, this is how they talk. When he found out that his fiance to be Christine had a record and all types of shit and fucked up childhood, daddy issues, it's okay, my bohemian queen, I got your back. But when Kevon, right, the man with the highlighter, fluorescent teeth, who was wasting the time of two Black women, came in and said, hey, the two Black women whose time I was wasting have both dumped me. He was quick to tell Kevon that he dodged a bullet with the Black woman who broke up with him. You told another Black man that he dodged a bullet when he admitted to fumbling two Black women who did nothing wrong other than trust him. Christine has a record, daddy issues, and a poverty-stricken, just messed up family. But Kevon, with his highlighted teeth and receding hairline and Anthony Hamilton beard, who fumbled a bad bitch in a whole Hanifa dress collection, and the other one who's just as pretty and dope. Him fumbling two Black women who are amazing. He dodged a bullet while you're running towards Christine with an engagement ring. Niggas will always tell on themselves. The gag is, Vic, had you actually been the man that you were purporting to be, who respects all women and not just the white ones, and who believes that all women deserve the grace that you overextended to Christine while you were bonding over trauma. By the way, guys, they're not trauma bonding. Trauma bonding means you're bonding with the person who you went through trauma with or who caused trauma. What they're doing is bonding over trauma. Please stop misusing that word, right? You just spent all your time bonding over trauma with a white woman, and yet two Black women with zero issues, excellent communication skills, and high self-esteem Your friend dodged a bullet. And y'all want me to believe this man is who he says he is. A nigga who is who he says he is would be like, brother, those women were both so patient with you. They both deserve you to be sure of them. You were wasting both of their time. You were leading them on. Why don't you apologize? If you actually were who you said you were, Vic, if the white women in your life and the grace that you give them extended to black women, your advice to Kevon would have been drastically different. Men who are only kind to the white women who they want to sleep and procreate with to make pretty biracial babies to water down the nigga out of their bloodline will always tell on themselves when they're talking to black men who actually date black women. The rules suddenly become very fucking different. The rules suddenly become very... If Vic had talked to Kevon about the women that he was dating, the black women that he was dating, the same way he talks to Christine, I might have conceded that maybe I got this wrong. Instead, I looked at this and said, got him. You were so busy memorizing speeches about biracial children, you forgot about the part where the being pro-black actually comes out more than just in people that you want to sleep with. It comes out in people that you have community with. You dodged a bullet by losing two beautiful black women. You dodged a bullet. That language. I can't unsee it. I'm so fucking sorry, y'all. I can't unsee it. I hope your locks get thin and your edges get weary. I hope your kids end up looking like your mama. Maybe then, maybe if your daughter has a regressive gene that clings to the nigga inside of her and you are forced to raise a little girl who looks just like the black woman whose bullets were dodged with Kevon, you will have to finally make peace with this. Somebody said, hi, I went to undergrad with Vic back in New York. At the time, he was committed with a black woman who's Afro-Latina. So basically a swirly black woman, right? Because I'm Afro-Latina, but y'all know when people say that, they don't often mean people like me. He seemed to be interested in black Latin women. He hasn't lived in New York in a while and was previously engaged to a white woman. So you have a history of dating swirly black women who are Latin passing or Latin presenting, but you only seem to commit to white women. Oh, it's almost like the receipts are receding. But he seems to have a diverse interest. No, honey, sleeping with black women, dating Latinas, but only wanting to marry white women is not diverse. That's just called being a nigga. Victor is Caribbean. I've been told there are differences between Caribbean and black American men. I'm Latina, so I can't really speak on that. Just what I've heard. Guys, in my own chat, right? Because I knew that people were not going to respond well to me writing this. Someone said, my group chat has been going crazy about this, Blue. And the group chat says, oh my God, a black professor falling for a white girl with addicted parents? Yeah, that checks out. Oh my God, this girl Christine needs therapy. A smart black man who wants to save a white woman from a broken home. What in the King fucking Kong is going on? And y'all clapping for this shit, huh? Oh my God, Vic is the best man I've ever seen in this entire franchise. He's made me believe in love. If you black, you're not the kind of love that he's thinking about, sis. I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm just going to play the video.
But I just feel like the crash bond and can make it look like intimacy, right? It's just giving me the vibes that they're going to run into some serious problems down the line, especially when they actually figure out that the things that they like about each other is actually based around their trauma. And they don't really know each other like that, like outside of that survival mechanism.
No, honey, he wants to be her savior. And there are scenes where this comes out.
Get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know if I'm being clear, and I apologize if, the things that I'm saying is like really triggering. Again, I want to reiterate, I'm not saying that these people don't deserve love. I'm not saying that they can't make it work. I'm saying that I just see a bunch of red flags here. I hope that they make it. I really
look, I hope they make it too. You know why? You're gonna be like, Blue, what do you mean after you said all that you hope that you make it? Number one, I'm not a hater. If two people have found a way for their dysfunctions and their whatevers and their anti-blackness and their liberalness, because, you know, there's nothing in this world that I find more fascinating watching liberal people who have internalized anti-blackness talk about how woke they are. It's fascinating to watch the mental gymnastics they have to do, right? If Vic feels like this, he's not even safe to be in a long-term relationship with a Black woman. So she can have him. I'm not going to mourn him not ending up with a Nubian queen because he'll probably end up cheating with a white girl anyways. If this is what he wants, he can have it. I'm just not buying the rhetoric surrounding them. So I actually am not praying on the demise of this relationship. I'm not a hating ass bitch. If they end up falling in love despite the racially tinged way they found each other, then I guess she's her Negro savior, right? So them staying together or breaking up is not something that I'm praying for or against. I'm just calling bullshit on the story we're being sold. I'm calling bullshit. And the fact that all the people who are clocking it are women like me who have been in those academic spaces, because I was like, why am I recognizing something I know I don't like? I actually, thank you. I'd rather have a crusty nigga like Devontae. I'd rather have Steph Curry's genetic leftovers than this. Because at least with Devontae, you can see him in his nappy kitchen and you know exactly what's happening. And yes, I'm intentionally using racially tinged rhetoric. I'm doing it on purpose, guys. I'm doing it on purpose because in the same way when I said a lot of y'all couldn't believe that Nick really wanted Olandria because you couldn't believe an attractive white man who was heavily sought after could want a jigaboo. I don't think Olandria's a jigaboo, but that's the internal dialogue that makes you find it hard to believe that Nick wants her. The language I'm using is intentional, guys. These are the things that these men think in the pits of their bellies that they're not willing to say.
I really do hope. They do seem like they are close. They do seem like they believe that they are in love with each other, but the red flags are there, okay? I'm just calling it like I see it. Okay?
Mom's like, Vic is great. If I was 30 years younger, I'd take him for myself. Screw.
Her mama, who looks just like her in 30 years, was like, he's hot. Like mother, like daughter. Look at this fine-ass Black man who's going to take care of my daughter and give me pretty grandbabies. Yes. They acted like they had won the genetic lottery when they were talking about him and children. And the part of me that understands medical racism and how we are bred, Black men used to be mandingos that were bred to make strong babies, it cringed. Y'all should have never taught a bitch like me how to read. It cringed. I'm sorry. I didn't find this moment sweet at all.
Through the miscegenation laws, West Virginia. They come in and meet Christine's mom, give each other a big old hug, gushing. Mom's like, I'm really surprised someone educated as you would even go on a show like this. That doesn't seem very, I mean, you know, not that you're not bright. I'm surprised my daughter even went on the show, to be honest. All the girls I've seen on the show are dizzy harlots. I mean, unlike my daughter, of course. Christine's like, I didn't want to come in too heavy and be like, do you believe in God? What do you do for work? But, you know, he brought it up first. So I was so thankful. And his voice drew me in, you know, especially considering I could just hear those foundational Black vocal cords. My queen knows more about me than anybody else knows. Like the reason that we couldn't go to Mexico for the honeymoon. I'm glad that you accepted me in your home because everybody keeps calling me a Mancoon, like this cat. Mom asks, what did you think when you saw each other for the first time? He says, I think it was a bonus because she was.
Do you see how he's imitating Vic's voice? Vic talks extra strong Black man around. It's, oh my God.
A European goddess, and I just looked up at the sky. Want to thank God because how
am I gonna get a copyright for this music in the background? I just heard the music.
Could a man ask for more? Mom's like, well, as long as he's nothing like your daddy, I think this will work out fine.
She did basically say, as long as he ain't like your ain't shit daddy. And Vic talking about, I told her that she needs to forgive her father. Because virtue signal, virtue signal, virtue signal. Doesn't matter if her father is psychologically damaging, and probably is best that she not be in communication with him. As the man in your life now, as the mandingo in your life now, I'm going to have to insist that your white father and you make up so that I can meet him and get his subconscious approval as well. Because the approval of white men is low-key what I've been wanting this entire time, which is why you're here. Yeah, so please forgive your daddy, Christine. I didn't want to get a copyright, so I'm just going to finish the scene. Let me fast forward past the music. Pass the music, because I don't want to risk it over this little music. And I'm watching this and I'm just like, this is a lot. Then Christine decides that she's gonna take him, this black man, to whatever backwards all white town, sundown town that she lives in, right? You guys know a sundown town is where niggas can't go when it's dark. Once the sun goes down, we gotta be out. She takes him to something that looks like something out of a movie that's gonna end poorly for the one black character. And he even says, I hope I make it home alive after being here. Oh, black man, you suddenly remember that you weren't just a mandingo, and they might actually shoot your ass. Interesting.
And then I stumbled upon this. This is even better. Christine's like, I'm going to show Vic the sundown town where I grew up. Vic's like, we're on our way to where? Illinois? Just kidding. Hillsboro, Ohio. So exciting. Hoping for some flurries in the forecast. Because if I go missing, just know it was worth going after my bohemian beauty. Christine's like, this is a big deal. I don't just bring anyone to my hometown.
Her hometown ain't got nothing in it. I do have to end the show because I have to run to Carlos's show. I will say this. Men who, how do I say this? If your pro-blackness makes it all the way to your bedroom door and then drastically stops and pivots, we're not kindred. Pro-blackness is also in the bedroom, guys. And I'm going to repeat what I said at the beginning of this for those who came in late. To me, black on black love and the definition, the modern day iteration of black on black love is two black people loving each other properly, because that's love and it's black on black, right? Black love is black on black. But the second tier of that, which is also important, is a black person dating someone else who is pro-black. And someone who is pro-black is not going to let you say, oh, it's no big deal, I'm dating a white girl, and we're going to have biracial kids, we'll figure it out. No, the kind of white woman that I think is pro-black would say, no, this is actually really important. I need to make sure I know how to do my daughter's hair. I know it's going to be a lot for us to be in the spaces X, Y, and Z. And to Christine's point, she tried to initiate that. But Vic was just so excited. He said, no, it's okay. I don't mind. You're the actual black person who she's looking for to lead. You're the man who she's looking to lead her in this old school Ohio mindset. And rather than say, yes, I did have reservation. If he had said, you know what? I love black women so much and I am down for my sister so much. You're right. I did have to grapple with the fact that I was going to be with the white women on this show. It is something that I have complicated feelings about that I'm working through. And though I'm committed to making sure that we have those conversations, because as much as I love black women, I just happen to fall in love with you. For him to be like, no, girl, it's cool. Don't bother me at all that you's white. Again, guys, you're going to say that I'm splitting hairs. I'm not. Those are the moments where the mask slips. I was watching an amazing show called 56 Days. I love thrillers. I love mindfucks, even though I guessed the ending several episodes earlier because I always do that. And there was one moment where this woman was conning this man and pretending that she loved NASA. She was pretending she loved NASA and it was working perfectly. One day they're in bed and the man's talking about how, because he loved NASA growing up, so she knew that pretending that she loved NASA too would make him fall in love with her so she could con him. And even though I just spoiled it a little bit, the show's still good. Still watch it. One day they're in bed and they're talking about NASA. And he's like, yeah, you know, I always dreamed of wearing the meatball one day. And she said, what the fuck is a meatball? And he looked at her and said, I always dreamed of wearing the meatball one day. And she said, what the fuck is the meatball? And he said, anybody who loves NASA on a basic level knows that the logo for NASA is called the meatball. And she said, I've never heard of that. He said, no, that's impossible. That's such a basic level, entry level thing. It's impossible to love NASA as much as you claim to love NASA and have missed the meatball. And she realized how much she had fucked up, because that's not something you can read in a book. That's what happens when you're actually part of the community that you claim to be a part of. And she grabbed it and said, I was just kidding. Of course I know the meatball, right? There's these little moments when you actually are something that nobody can study. You're either in it and you get it or you don't. Vic doesn't know what the meatball is. I hope that analogy or that metaphor wasn't too convoluted. That's why I'm on to him. All right, guys. Shout out to anybody who's watching Love is Blind and still believes in pro-blackness and still believes that Black women deserve to be loved and still believes that a Black man isn't dodging a bullet. A Black man isn't dodging a bullet when he fumbles good Black women. You told on yourself, Vic. Most people didn't catch it, but I did. All right, love y'all. Until next time, I'm going to be heading over to Carlos's show right now. I just have to go to the bathroom real quick, and then I'm heading over. And I will see you guys over there. If the Blue Crew shows up, as usual, please shout yourselves out in the comments so I can show you some love. And yeah, guys, I'm not anti-interracial relationships. I will always say this. I am for anybody who is running towards love. I find it impossible to clap for anybody who's running away from Blackness. They are not the same thing. All right. Until next time. Bye, family.